Welcome back to another episode of Retro Rewire. My name is JJ, and we're going to continue exploring Japanese games, NTSC-J Region 2 games that have full English language options. And what we're looking for is either activating a full English language option within the menu, or that the game just completely boot up in English. And we're going to be covering PlayStation 1, 2, 3, the 360, the GameCube, and the Nintendo Wii. And in the previous episode, we covered a number of handhelds as well as a few retro consoles. I'll leave a link down below so you can check that out, but let's just get things underway. And I'm going to start with the Neo Geo CD. We covered that in the previous episode, but I had two more games that I forgot to cover, which is Fatal Fury 3 for the Neo Geo CD. We got full English language options with this one, and Real Bout Fatal Fury. So both of those games, full English language options without any kind of modification to the system. Just activate it within the menu. Now let's go ahead and continue on with the PlayStation 1. Now, PlayStation 1, we have a few games that they're pretty much just the North American version, just pressed, for the Japanese region, without any kind of any translation whatsoever other than what you find in the manual. And we have Street Racer Extra. In fact, with a few of these games, you have to hit the X button to confirm, which is common in the West, but it's uncommon here in Japan, as you would press the circle button to do that. But Street Racer Extra is one, fully in English. We got Porsche Challenge. This is a great racer, and it's fully in English. We got Colin McRae, the Rally. I recently picked this one up, and to my surprise, it was completely in English. That was a really nice find, by the way. And then we have Total NBA 96, completely in English. This is a great little old school NBA game. And then we have Cyber War, or what's known as the Lawnmower Man. And I believe it's based off the Lawnmower Man, but interesting little FMV type of game, and completely in English, and it's a multi-disc game. But that's going to be it for play. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. We have one more PlayStation 1 game. In fact, shame on me for getting this one, as it's pretty big. It's Metal Gear Solid, but it's going to be the integral version. Now, this one has full English options. You can activate it in the menu. Now, there's the vanilla release as well as the greatest hits. Those don't have English options. It's just going to be the integral version, but really cool that this one has full English language options. So let's go ahead and continue on with the PlayStation 2. Okay, so PlayStation 2, we have Dead or Alive 2 Hardcore. This is one that you could activate English within the menu settings. We have The Bouncer, and this one actually says it in the back of the box here. It says Japanese and English options, and I believe the North American version is kind of the same. You can activate Japanese in that one. And then we have Rez. This one just completely in English from the get-go. And I believe the Dreamcast one could be similar, but I have yet to confirm that. And then we have Castlevania Lament of Innocence. This one you activate English within the menu, and this was actually a pleasant surprise. In fact, the next few games are going to be all about Konami. But we have Silent Hill 2. You can activate full English language options within the menu. We got Silent Hill 2 with the extra scenario. Full English language, pretty cool. We have Silent Hill 3, full English language. And then really quickly with Silent Hill 3, it does, or it should, include a little sampler disc. Now, the greatest hits version does not include the sampler disc, and it's pretty much just like, I think, two or three tracks. And Silent Hill 4 also includes a sampler disc, but unfortunately I have the greatest hits version, and that one does not have the disc, but it is fully in English, which is more important than the little disc. And then we have this Metal Gear Solid DVD. I found this in the junk section at a hard op, and to my surprise, it's like a little animated cutscene movie in the vein of the cutscenes from the PlayStation Portable Ops, as well as Peace Walker, in that vein. So pretty cool to see this. It's a Region 2 DVD. And then with some more Metal Gear, we have Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. Now that's a pretty nice surprise, and it's only this version that has the English language option. So the standard release, the greatest hits, do not have English. In fact, there was a few other versions of Substance that did not have English. So I'll definitely put the little code I'll put that up above so you guys can see which version that has the English language options. But anyhow, let's go ahead. That's going to be it for the PlayStation 2. So let's dive right into the GameCube. And once again, Metal Gear, we got the Twin Snakes, full English language options. You could activate this within the menu. So that was really cool to find that out. And thank you to somebody in the comments mentioned it like a year ago. So I tracked down a copy and I was able to confirm that. And then back with the Konami goodness, this is for the Nintendo Wii. We have Silent Hill, Shattered Dreams. Now this one is fully in English, but I just want to say that my Wii is soft modded, and I have so that I can play my North American games on my Japanese Wii. And I use Gecko so the games will boot up, and that they by default boot up in English. So if you don't have it modded, maybe it'll be in Japanese. I don't know, but it's fully in English. There is full English in this version of the game, so that's pretty cool. And in that vein, it's going to be the same thing with Resident Evil, The Umbrella Chronicles, or Biohazard as it's known here. This one just completely boots up in English, and I think it has something to do with the soft mod that I did. And it's going to be the same thing with The Dark Side Chronicles, fully in English. And then lastly, we have one. And this is going to segue into like how this series will evolve, which is Castlevania Judgment. Now within the menu, you can change, most of the menu is going to be in English first of all, but you can change the voiceovers to English. So in the future, we're going to be covering games that are partially in English, but are fully playable without, with little to no Japanese. So definitely look forward to that. Okay, so we're going to continue with the Xbox 360 and then make our way into the PlayStation 3. Now, the important thing here is that you have to have your system language set to English, and then these games are going to boot up in English. There are a few games that you can change that within the menu, but for the most part, there won't be a way to change it within the menu. So let's just start in no particular order, and we're just going to do like a quick blitz here because there's so many games and it's just going to be crazy to capture footage for everything. So here we go. We have Ninja Gaiden 2. Now this is one of the few instances where the game you can change the language options within the menu. We have Biohazard 5. This one will boot up in English completely. Never Dead. This one will load up in English. And then here we have a masterpiece, Dead Rising. Now this one will be fully in English. We have Dead or Alive 4. Alan Wake. This is a great game, and the remaster changed the models as I understand it, but this one retains the original 3D models, and it'll be in English. Here we got a classic, Left 4 Dead 2. This one will be fully in English. And then here, now this is a masterpiece right here, my goodness. The Orange Box. This one will be fully in English. Now, one thing to keep in mind is a lot of these games will not only be in English, but usually if it's in English, it'll also be like in German, Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian. Now, not always, and French, but not always, but usually that is the case. And then we have Left 4 Dead. Although with this one, this is actually the Asia release, as you can see kind of down here. And then up above here, it just says that it includes English and Chinese with English voices, but it is fully in English. We have Bayonetta. This is a great game, fully in English. Now, this is a game that does it right. Ninja Blade by From Software. Not only can you have it fully in English, you could change it to where the text is in English but voices are in Japanese, or vice versa, and it just gives you quite a bit of options to mix and match the language options. And here's another great game, Binary Domain. This will be fully in English. And technically this is not NTSC-J, but another Asia release of Gears of War 2, fully in English. And then we have Lost Planet Colonies. And then we have Gears of War, the original release. Look at that, 400 yen. And this is like the limited edition or deluxe edition. Now, one thing that I do want to add is my understanding is that the 360 is not region free, but there are a few games that are coded to be region free. So just be careful with that. as I am not sure if all of these games are region free, as I am using a Japanese Xbox 360 to play these. But let's go ahead and make our way into the PlayStation 3, and this section is gonna be huge. Okay, PlayStation 3. Now this thing is gonna be, I got stacks of PlayStation 3. That was my go-to console during its heyday, the 7th generation. Freaking love that generation. But let's just get into it. We have Lollipop Chainsaw. We have Gran Turismo 5 Spec 2, fully in English. Ridge Racer 7, great racer. Here we have one that is actually region 3, but it does have full English language options, which is Resonance of Fate or End of Eternity. Here we have Tekken 6, Tekken Tag 2, Ultra Street Fighter 4. Let it focus there. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Ultra Street Fighter 4, Virtua Fighter 5, Street Fighter Cross Tekken, The King of Fighters 12, Soul Calibur 4, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate. Now this one will actually give you a free update, and it'll be Dead or Alive 5 Last Round. So that's a pretty cool, nice surprise. As is the vanilla Dead or Alive 5. That one has full English language. And then I can't remember. I'll definitely put it down below. But we have Guilty Gear Zerd, or however you say that. Killzone 3, fully in English. Killzone 2. And I recently replayed this, and oh man, visually it still holds up. We got Resistance 3. This one is awesome in 3D. Resistance 2. And the original Resistance. We have Crisis 3, fully in English. This one actually caught me off guard because a lot of EA games do not have English language support. And we have Crisis 2, The Darkness 2, Bulletstorm, Duke Nukem Forever. This game is silly. Doom 3, and Rage. We got Okami, and this looks amazing on the PlayStation 3. We got Diablo 3. This is the vanilla release, and the updated one actually also has English. We got Dragon's Dogma, and this one retains that funky J-pop rock song. Dark Arisen, also gonna have full English language there. We got Lair, or Rise from Lair as it's known here. Shadows of the Damned, Rayman Origin, or Origins, The Puppeteer. Alright y'all, I had to re-record this bit, but all these games are going to be fully in English. We have Binary Domain, Max Anarchy, a little bit of a quirky game, but it is in English. We have Stranglehold. Now this one, the North American version does have the movie Hard Boiled. We have Lost Planet Extreme Condition. Now this was 100 yen, as was the sequel, and this was a great multiplayer game. Both are fully in English, and part 3 is as well. Now this one, I hear it improves upon the storytelling. We have Uncharted 3, great game, especially in stereoscopic 3D. And check out the cover of part 2. Now this is fully in English, and it's a great action platformer type of game. And The Last of Us. Now I recently played this for the first time about 2 years ago, and this was the very version that I beat. Great game on the PS3. Then we have Heavy Rain. Now the Move Edition, this is a Region 3 game, but it is fully in English. We have Prince of Persia. Have yet to play this one, but when I popped it in, to my surprise, it was fully in English. A little bit of a guilty pleasure here. We have Never Dead, and I double dipped on this one, but not too expensive, and both are fully in English. We have Castlevania Lords of Shadows 2, Region 3, and in English. We have Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. Now this one is fully in English, and the vanilla version, coming in at a measly 100 yen, is also fully in English. And then we have Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, and not shown is part 1, but both of them are fully in English. Then we have DMC Devil May Cry, fully in English, and I'm thinking I might play this on the Xbox One X. We have Devil May Cry 4. If you don't want to shell out the big bucks on the special edition, this one is fully in English. And then we have the HD Collection, Part 1, 2, and 3, and all fully playable in English. We have Dead Rising 2 off the record. Looking forward to playing this one. And then we have Bayonetta. Probably not the best way to play, but if you want to play it, it's fully in English. We have Space Marine Warhammer. Pretty cool cover, and I was happy that it was in English. And then we have Psycho Break, otherwise known as The Evil Within, fully in English. And then we have Altered Species, which has a Deadly Premonition vibe in a way, but it is fully in English. Biohazard, or Resident Evil, the HD remaster. Biohazard 0. This one looks pretty good too. Then we have the vanilla version of Resident Evil 5. Now this one, it includes a trailer to Resident Evil Degeneration as behind the scenes making of. So that's pretty cool. Gold Edition, or Alternative Edition as it's known here. This includes all the DLC. Biohazard 6. Operation Raccoon City. Revelations, the Unveiled Edition. Revelations 2. So that's pretty much everything I have for the PlayStation 3 that I verified in English. That's in English. Unfortunately, these I was thinking that these would have the English language options, but they're just going to be partially in English. And pretty much what it is, it's the downloadable titles on a disc. You pop in the disc, and then each title shows up, and you select it, and then it'll just install. So that was a little bit of a bummer. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much the end of today's episode. Now, in the next one, we're going to be covering games that are partially in English and fully playable for non-Japanese speakers. And there's actually going to be quite a bit, especially from the 32-bit era, including a few Nintendo 64 stuff. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this series. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. You know how to do it, all that great stuff. And I guess I will catch you all soon. Ciao.